Watch me walk across that river.
We had witnessed programming for other minority communities. We had witnessed a movement for work with Indigenous communities. We had witnessed work for art programming for New Canadians. We hadn't yet begun to realize the need to create opportunities that weren't just recreational things to keep people with disabilities busy, but were actually about cultivating story from these community members who happen to be disabled. And not only doing that, but making sure they were representing their own story.
Like if you're just going like, oh, I need something to make the disabled kids feel like they see themselves. Well, that's missing a whole part of what this experience should be too. Like, I want to hear these people's stories.
I think there is a lot happening by bringing the disability community to play those roles of participants, but also of leaders. That's something I think essential.
That's part of what Listen to This works against, is trying to disrupt these models and also put different people in the roles that we've already seen and in the places we've already seen, because we've had enough of it.
Our practice, our assumptions have been challenged and pushed, and in a very positive way. And we're now at a time where the Canada Council, for one, has taken a lead in insisting that, you know, every theatre that receives public funding needs to embrace a diversity of voice and experience, that we must be rigorous about ensuring that the voices of artists who have that lived experience are heard and not subsumed by able-bodied artists and leaders.
Another thing that is great is that it's delivered from their own voice. I mean, it's not prescribed by someone else to explain themselves, their designing and their writing.
Seeing a show where there was such a strong sense of agency amongst those the performers on stage was really exciting, and it was attractive and made me really happy.
Kelsey was extremely proud to have us come to the first production, and you know, we'd heard all the preparations, but when you actually see it, it was it brought us to tears.
I dealt with a lot of my own insecurities of like, how can I act in a body that I can't move? Because that was so draining. It was like, I'm just gonna use my face? And I mean, that's something that Tracy's helped me with incredibly, because I just would act all in my face and forget about my body. And it's like, well, no, actually, you can have little, you know, and you can engage your body with breath in an entirely different way. And actually, that is something physically that I have grown and gained insurmountably throughout working with this company.
It's exciting, it's fun to get to go to all these places and meet people and hopefully somehow impact their lives.
We love the expressions of watching not just the company, but watching the crowds and the feedback.
I not only think the therapeutic value of it is very powerful, but I also think if a human being ever does anything that elicits a response from another one, this is getting really dumbed down, really boiled down, but if a human being ever does something that elicits a response from another human, that's a beautiful thing. And when we look at making art, I don't know what else it's for.
Yeah, like I think Swift Current or other communities as well, like if we're performing with in front of the schools and that sort of stuff, like it's fun to hear kind of what the kids ask or don't ask, or or react to, or what people laugh at, or that sort of stuff. You have to remind people that, you know, if something's funny, laugh. It's okay. You know, like, it's not all meant to be lecture-y or anything like that. And I think the more we perform both pieces, but the more we perform, especially Neither Heroes, the less lecture-y it gets. So the more, that's where people can get something different out of it kind of every time.
Even though we've been doing the play for so long, when we do perform it, the reaction that we get from the audience, it's like this like crystal clear reminder of like, oh yeah, that's why we do it. Because they're just flabbergasted. They're just like, I know that, like, that brought tears to my eyes, and this is why. Like, I've lived through this, and that reminded me, and I've got a similar experience. Or, you know, like, it just touches people in this like empathetic way.
I find that anybody in the audience, anybody viewing, feels stronger when they stand up at the end. You know, I think the best word is they're full. Their heart's full. They realize that aside from any wheelchair, any disorder, any kind of situation, that they can be human just as much as you are.
Anybody who tries to dismiss an artist because they talk about their disability being part of the context in which they create art is simply displaying their lack of understanding of what it is to be human.
And that's an important thing for us to learn in this province of artists dictating the terms of the programming that is done, of the shows that are produced, of the processes that we're making theater or that we're making new work, or that we're presenting already existing work.
The fact that we get to go beyond that and start talking about art that comes from a particular person's perspective, and part of that perspective, part of that artist's work, is that they're giving you the opportunity to know what it's like to be in a body that sits in a chair the vast majority of their life, what that does to the frame, what that does to the shoulders, what it does to the neck, and what it takes to continue to not just survive, but embrace and create. You're being given an opportunity to know what that's like. You need to be quiet and take it in.
And when people try to make fun of me or make fun of what I'm doing, I just say, can you go up in front of 150 people? Open your heart, lift it out of your chest, put it on the sleeve, and let people show who you really are. If you can do that, then you won't be making fun of me. Because I'm doing what I love to do. And that is writing, acting, singing, all of that. And if it opens hearts, eyes, and minds all to the good. I'm stronger every day. I've got my faith. I've got no time to waste. get to where I need to be. I got my back to the wall, I've got nowhere to fall. I'm standing up tall, watch me walk across that river. Look the devil in the eye.